Welcome to Real Talk with Sean, everybody. This evening, I have the pleasure of speaking with Miss Angel, and thank you for joining me, Angel.
Thank you for having me.
This evening, Angel and I are going to be discussing the loss of her daughter. I want to tell you that I am so sorry that that happened.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Second, I think that you're strong as hell. Strong Black woman to be able to come on a platform that's worldwide, because we communicated from TikTok and Instagram, and I think you're very strong to tell your story. And I'm assuming that it's a coping mechanism for you as well, to be able to go out and speak about it.
Yeah, it started, I had been sitting in my house and I was going crazy. I literally didn't have anybody to vent to. I had nobody to talk to. It was just me and my youngest daughter in the house. And in the early days after my daughter passed, it was hard. And I remembered that she introduced me to TikTok. I knew nothing about TikTok. And I needed somebody to talk to. And I was just like, I was gonna just record it on my phone, but then I was just like, something just said, just record it on TikTok. And even if nobody sees it, somebody's gonna see it.
Exactly, exactly. Because all it takes is one person. I mean, it could help one other mother that's out there, or dad that's grieving, or, a sister or brother, because grief is grief, but there's nothing like losing your own child.
That's what I tell people, like in 2017, I lost 2 brothers in one day. So from a sibling standpoint, I know what that's like for my kids.
Yeah.
And now I know from a parent standpoint what it's like to lose your kid. And though I've lost so many siblings and people that are close to me and in close proximity to each other, nothing compared to losing a part of my heart.
Absolutely.
It's definitely different. And like, I would never downplay anybody's grief, because like I said, I've experienced it from all corners of the table. But losing my kid, it was different. It is different. Like, it's something that I don't feel like I'll ever come back from. I daily, it's a battle every single day.
And I can only imagine. Yeah. I can only imagine, because I mean, first and foremost, unless you experience that, you can't possibly understand. Hey, cutie, you can't possibly understand that, dude, but you can relate. You can relate to the death, but you just will never understand what you actually feel being a parent and losing a child. Because as the saying goes, you expect to go before them.
Exactly.
So yeah, that I can only imagine how you feel. What was her name?
Her name was Kileiya. Kileiya Santana Michaela Horn. I actually made her name up because my brother, his name's Kyle, and I had a niece that passed away when she was 2 years old, or 2 weeks old, and her name was Aaliyah. So I put Kyle, got Kileiya.
And I like the name. That was actually a good combination to mix together. Some people make combinations and they're like, I don't know if you should have mixed those two together. But that one sounds good. Like, that sounds good. How old was she when she passed away?
She was 11 years old.
Wow, like really young. What happened?
Kileiya had been getting bullied for quite some time. I would try to explain to Kileiya that not everybody's gonna love you. Not everybody's gonna like you, but for every one person that doesn't, 10 more do.
There you go.
You are so many people. They would tell her that she's fat, that she's ugly, she's tall, just kid stuff. But what kids don't realize is that your words cut deep, especially to a little girl who's so loving. My baby wouldn't hurt anybody. She was the sweetest little girl you would have ever come across. That little girl would give you the shirt off her back. She didn't understand why people didn't like her.
Right.
Because she was taught to not be a bully. She was taught to treat people the way she wanted to be treated. She was taught to love she had a little mean streak. So if she didn't like you, she would just look at you like, why are you talking?
Right.
But for the most part, she was the most amazing little girl. And so she didn't understand.
Of course not.
Friends were her friends when she could give them things or when she could do things for them. But when she couldn't, they wanted to jump on her or they wanted to try to fight her or they talked about her, you know. And if anybody seen my daughter's beautiful. I said, baby, where you ugly at? Your mama didn't have no ugly babies, honey.
There you go.
You bald-headed that girl. Your hair is draping to your butt. Where are you bald-headed?
Yeah.
Oh, you talk about ball player. You're not tall just for nothing, you know. Just
there you go.
I tried to her and talk to her all the time. Like I would be doing my makeup in the mirror and she would come stand in the bathroom and then I would just pop up like I was in shock. And I'm like, oh my God, do you see that beautiful girl standing in that mirror? Like, Mom, you're such a dork. And I'm like, yeah, we're both weird. I'm
exactly. I like weird. I'm weird. Me and my girls always say that. Like, I'm weird.
From the age of 2, my baby, she came to me when she was 2 and she said, Mom. And I'm like, what's up, Pudding? And she said, you're my best friend. And I love my best friend. And I said, I'm your best friend. And she said, you're my best friend. And from that day till the day that she left here, that was my best friend. And I was her best friend.
That's what's up.
I got bullied and on February 4th.
Take your time. You're fine. I got all the time in the world.
3 days after my 34th birthday, my daughter was found in her closet by her big brother. She had hung herself with her torture cord.
Okay. Man, I'm so sorry to hear that. And this is actually a lesson for parents. If y'all see this and, you know, I'm not, you know, I'm a parent. I would let my daughters look at this video because I think it's very important, as you did teach your child to not bully, to love and show respect and peace. This is why I started. Your daughter actually is a big piece of a reason why I started this. Stuff like that, because there's no reason that we should put people down or make people feel as if they don't belong or they're not good enough. And I really wish that she would have known that they were the ones with the problem, not her.
I tried to take care of that. I tried talking to Kileiya. We talked so much, and that's why I knew she was getting bullied.
Yeah.
And it's crazy when the schools will tell you, well, we don't have proof of this. This kid is saying that they didn't do this. She's saying that they did. So pretty much if y'all don't see it happening, that means it didn't happen, you know?
Right.
My kids, they were living with their dad because I had gotten into a domestic situation that I didn't want my kids to be a part of. And I had to get out of it myself, but I knew that they had somewhere safe to go.
Yeah, and I don't find nothing wrong with that. You did the best thing that you could do at that moment for your children. And that's not a bad thing. They were with their dad. So people will even look at that and have something to say about it. But what's so wrong about that? They were with their other parent. That's not a bad thing. I think that was a smart thing, considering what you were battling with or going through at the moment. You made a conscious decision to put your kids in a safe place with their father.
And it hurt. It was the hardest decision ever because I'd never been with my kids. Like, I had to be selfless though, because as selfless as I wanted to be, and I wanted to say, these are my kids, they're gonna be right here. I couldn't do that to them because I grew up seeing stuff like that.
Right.
I refused for my kids to see it.
Right.
They never saw me, and they might have heard me and their dad argue and stuff like that, but they never saw him get physical with me.
Right.
So I put them in a situation where they had to see that.
Right.
So like I chose to make sure that they didn't have that trauma to hold on to. I remember certain things that I wish I didn't remember. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I did. People might say, like when I say they were with their dad, people are like, "Oh, you didn't have custody of." We've never been to court. He's never been on child support. We've always co-parents. We were together for 13 years. When something don't work, it just don't work.
Yep.
So we decided even when it was hard to, we co-parented these kids, and we continue to this day.
Because we're first, and I actually commend you for that. And you used a word that a lot of people need to learn. You know the word, but they need to learn to use it, and that's being selfless. Because when it comes to your kids, that's what you're supposed to do. To be, yes.
Yeah.
They are first and foremost for everything. The minute they're born, you kind of, when you're a good parent, you become second. You do everything with them in mind.
I've lived with bare minimum. I've lived with absolutely nothing. I refuse to see my kids go without. I literally don't have a car. I walked to Walmart yesterday in 103-degree weather to make sure that my kids could eat, because I had. But what I wasn't going to do is sit here and say, well, it's too hot, so I'm not going out there. I do things almost every day that I feel like I wish I didn't have to do.
Right.
But at the same time, I would lay my life on the line for every single child that came from me. So, and any other child in need, I feel like, what? Can you do what? Yeah. Sorry.
Oh no, yeah. Man, listen, I'm a kid house. So they to me, they don't, we can tell them to leave me alone, do this, do that, but they're not, you know, and so they come first. It's their space, you know, what can we do? I'm all about the kids.
Just this little spot right here.
Right. And what you were saying, like, about you walking to the store, like, I commend that, because you could have just sat there, you know, doing what a lot of people do it. I mean, they just sit there and don't put the best foot forward. We sit there, we complain about what we don't have, what we can't do, what we do this. Well, we know what the situation is, but we got to find a way to push through and make a way out, even though I know it's hard.
It's definitely hard, but it's harder seeing my kids say, Mom, I'm hungry.
Yes.
And I wouldn't be a mom if I just sat there and said, oh, well, y'all don't have to wait till it cools off. No, I walked in that heat. They wanted a seafood boil. I made sure they got that.
I know that's right. I know that's right. And that's what a mommy does, a real mommy. You know, you can have kids, but that don't mean you're a good mother. That doesn't mean you're a mommy.
Any mammal.
Okay, there you go.
Can have an offspring.
Yes.
It's about putting your kids before you. It's about taking care of those kids, nurturing those kids, guiding those kids.
Yes.
Without those things, we'll have a lot more. Let me shut up.
No, you're right. I know where you're going, and you're right. And we need more of that, like the stuff that happened with your daughter and the things that are going on in this world. It all starts with us. It all starts with us at home, what we teach our kids, what we allow them to see, what they're exposed to. It's up to us to protect them and make sure that they're being the best people they can be when they go out in the world. There's no reason your daughter should have been bullied like that. And there's never a time for somebody to feel as if they shouldn't be here. You know, when you know, and this is for the parents. You know, it's y'all kids that's out there doing this. There's no reason that any child should feel as if they don't belong.
They learned it from somewhere.
Yes, they did.
I don't care who is responsible for it. As a parent, if you know that your child is a bully.
You know your child. See, that goes to, yes, I know mine. I know mine. Like, I see, there's a difference in just being home and paying attention.
I'm a nosy parent.
Yes, so in
your business.
And I'm going to continue to do that.
Yeah, you have to. And that's why I said these kids and their parents need to be held accountable.
They do.
Because kids learned it from somewhere.
They did.
And this stop it.
They did.
And so
even though you're a child, you know when you're being mean. So you're making a conscious decision. Even as a child, you know right from wrong.
They're in junior high school. There's no way you don't.
Oh, yes. You knew what you were doing to her.
She was about to go to the 7th grade. So she's in school with, you know, older kids.
Right.
You guys know what they're doing.
Oh yeah.
And I feel that they don't understand the full effect of what bullying did, not only to my baby, but what it did to my family.
Absolutely.
Because that little girl was so loved and is so loved, like, by everybody. No, nobody has yet, but she's so loved by everybody that it affected everybody.
Yeah. How did it affect you? How did it affect you with your other kids? Like, did you check out for a moment? Because you have kids that are younger than her, right?
Yes, I have 3 that are younger than her. She was my second oldest.
Okay, all right. So how did it affect you when it comes to raising them? Because I mean, I know you had to check out for a moment.
I did when they weren't around.
Okay, okay.
When they were around. And there were times where I would just break down because I couldn't help it.
Right.
Everywhere I turned was a memory of my child.
Of course.
Her room was right across the hall from my room. I remember peeking in her room and seeing her laying on her bed on TikTok or on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And now I can't do that.
Right.
So there was a lot of times where I would zone out so deep that it took my baby to start crying or something for me to, and I would apologize to her because that's not what I was intending to do. But I just felt so lost. Like I felt like I was looking for my baby.
Of course.
And I didn't know where to look, but I'm sitting here hoping and praying that she wakes up or that I come out of this nightmare, because the images that I have in my head from that day, I will never be rid of, ever. And that's another reason that I started talking on TikTok, because I want those images to go away. To see my daughter laying dead on a floor after being told on my way to her, because I live 30 minutes away from their dad. Mm-hmm. So I had to wait 30 minutes for my mom to come pick me up from Columbia to Fulton, Missouri.
Right.
And then I had to wait another 30 minutes on my way there. And they called me and said that they did all that they could do for my baby. But they weren't going to take her from that house until I got there.
Right.
When I walked in that house, their dad hugged me, and then his girlfriend hugged me. But when his girlfriend hugged me, she wouldn't let me go. And she's like, I don't think you need to see her like that. And I said, I think you need to get off of me.
Yeah.
Take my baby out of this house until I see her. And I bent the corner to her bedroom. And I just fell to my knees and I crawled to my baby. Her shirt was cut open and her chest was exposed. So I covered her up. Mm. Her eyes were half open, and I just sat Indian style on her floor, and I picked her up and put her on my lap, and I just hugged her and I rocked, and I just called her name. And I'm just like, God, Mia, please just wake up.
Right.
Her lips were pale. She had blood coming from her nose. It was cold, so I knew that there was no coming back from that.
Right.
But I closed her eyes. I had to. So this is my brother. She passed on his birthday.
Hi, Kyle.
This is Miles.
And Miles, I'm sorry. Miles, I'm so sorry to hear about it. Y'all lost. Okay, Miles?
He's hurting.
I know he is. I know he is. And Miles, right? I know you don't know me, but I'm all good, man. I'm all about positivity and love. And what I'm trying to do is like just spread some love in the world. What happened to your niece should not have happened. So my thing is about, we can't bring her back, but what we can do is keep her name alive by spreading awareness. And that's what I'm trying to do, man, because I don't get down with the bullying shit.
At all.
So I'm trying to spread awareness. How we gonna keep her name alive?
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard every day. Like, I battle a depression. There are days where I can't get out of my bed. There are days where I fight to just get up so I can take a shower.
I get it.
I know I have. And when my kids are here, I definitely try to stay on my toes. You know, there are days where me and my oldest son he'll just hold me while I cry. I'll hug him, let him know it's okay to cry.
It
And
is. It is.
he'll cry with me. I guess it's because he feels safe, you know, and
Yeah.
that's what I want him to know is you're safe with me. It's okay. And so we have our moments, but I pull it together because I want them to understand that even though she's gone and it literally, I feel like I'm dying. I really do. But they're just as important to me as she is.
Yeah.
And I feel the exact same way had it been
All that right there. All that right there. You need all that. All that. All that.
Yeah.
I swear. You know, the thing is, we can't, change circumstances or what happened. We can just try and keep pushing forward and spreading awareness so it doesn't happen to the next person that's just like her. But all that love that you have around you is what you have to live for. Because I mean, I see all of them are like rallying. Like they coming, they're coming right for you.
They're protective. They don't like to see me cry, especially my boys. They're like,
Of course. Yeah, man. As they should be. As they should be.
All of them have always been that way. Even Kileiya, she was a mom girl. And it's so odd to me because I hear a lot of mothers and daughters just not getting along.
Right, yeah.
I understand it because honestly, there was a time where I was closer to my grandmother and my aunt than I was to my mom.
Right.
But I could never see me being like that with my daughter. Like, we had our moments where we bumped heads because we're so much alike.
Yeah.
But 2 seconds later, she's like, Mom, I love you. And I'm like, I love you too. And she's like, you're such a weirdo. And I'm like, you're such a weirdo.
But I think that there's a difference in parents loving your children, because a lot of parents love your children, but then there's an element of comfortableness where you actually really feel that you can tell them anything and talk to them about anything. And that's where the difference comes in. And I think a lot of clashing comes when girls in particular feel like they really can't talk to their mother. And that's where the bumping heads come in. Of course, we know with the women's estrogen, yes, that does it. But a lot of it is being comfortable and feeling like your mother, you actually can tell her anything and she's not going to put you down, judge you. She literally going to talk to you and love you up.
And that's, my daughter, she was having a thing where she told me she was attracted to women.
Okay.
And I told her, so me too.
Exactly.
I want to change my name to Donovan. Okay, son.
Okay.
Now, and her dad, on the other hand, was more so like, no, don't say that. You don't know what. Do that to her. She knows what she's feeling, and it may be a phase, but don't tell her what not to feel, because that's her feelings are valid, regardless of if you agree or not. Her feelings.
Oh my God, that's so deep. It's so deep. It's so deep and so real, because we have to stop doing that. That messes with a child more than what we think it does. To tell them what they're not.
On top of being bullied by her peers.
Exactly. At that point, you gotta let them express themselves and express themselves the whatever way that makes them happy, because that is a way that she's telling you, okay, I believe in myself this way.
Yes.
I may not feel good over here, but over here, this is how I'm feeling good. So
I to come home and live with me, because they have been with their dad for a while, for about 4.5 years. And it took me 2.5 years to get away from my abuser, and then 2 more years to just get back on my feet.
Yeah,
and
it takes time.
Stable position. And their dad, he didn't come from like a loving, a showing love type of family. I love every now and again, but they weren't affectionate. We believe in displaying love to our children.
That's my family.
Not telling them they love them, that we love them, but showing them.
Showing.
And that to me was very important. So my kids, sometimes their dad kind of acted like he didn't like the fact that they were so close to me.
Right.
But like I had to tell him, those are my babies. Regardless of you being their dad, I gave birth to them.
Yep, and you can't change. There's nothing you can do with a mother's love. There's nothing like it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I tried to get him to understand that, but you can lead the horse to water. You can't make him drink.
You can't.
And when she left here, I wish that my love was enough to keep her here.
Yeah.
That was a devastating blow to my heart.
Yeah.
And most days I feel like I can't go on, lots of days where I feel like I just want to sleep.
I know, just sleep it away, because then you don't have to deal with reality.
Yeah. I wake up and I'm just wondering, is today my day? Is this going to be the day that I get to hug my baby again? That I get to see her again? I want so.
Yeah.
So I would give anything to have my baby back.
I know.
And I don't think bullying gets talked about enough.
It doesn't.
Until it's late.
It doesn't, and that's the problem. That's the problem. We can fix it if we address it instead of saying, I don't believe it. I don't think they did this. Let's talk about it. Even if you feel that way, talk to your child and let them know how that can really hurt somebody, because kids internalize things.
It's the person that loves the person that's being bullied. You're not just affecting the adults. You're not just affecting this child or this adult that you're bullying. You're affecting everybody that loves this person, because ultimately you can make a person feel like even the people that love them, their love isn't enough.
Yes, you can.
So I feel like they made.
And that's what happened.
Yeah.
That's what happened. And I mean, that's clear as day, because she already knew that she knew that you loved her, but they wore her down.
Yeah.
And so, then people need to really bring awareness to this, because it's real. And nowadays it's getting worse.
It is.
It's getting worse.
6 kids, my baby's age, and the youngest was 8, hanging themselves for being bullied.
Yeah.
Kids don't understand how harsh their work.
No, it's true.
And how it really, you can make a kid literally go home from school and hang themselves.
Yes.
Because that they're ugly and that they're not worth anything, and that they're fat and that nobody likes them. They believe that because everybody who's crowding around you while you're being a clown.
Yep. That's exactly.
And nobody's crowding around this kid that's being bullied and saying, stop that, leave her.
Oh, that's the key. Oh, you're so right. Somebody, y'all kids, somebody got to be on the opposite side. Somebody got to stand up and be the one to say, no, that's not right, y'all. Be on the opposite side.
And see, she would say, don't bully her or leave her alone. That's my friend, even if she didn't know that person.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, and that's what she wasn't understanding, is why nobody that claimed to be her friend was standing up for her. No adult other than her mom and her dad trying the best we could to bring it to authorities' attention, because we're not there all the time. And I don't know. School's out. It could be a couple of days later where she feels like, okay, now I'm ready to talk. Because sometimes she would get down and depressed. And because I was a kid who suffered from depression, I know the signs of depression. And so when I noticed that she would become a little reclusive, or she would look so down and she would look like she wants to say something. So she would say, Mom, and I would go, what's up, baby? And she's like, never mind, it's stupid. And I would tell her, I don't care if you want to tell me the sky is purple and
but it's
important enough for you to talk about it. It's important enough for me to hear it. Don't ever say that what you got to say is stupid.
Yep, because we never know what that stupid thing that they thought, how serious it could be. And you're right, because I tell my daughters that whatever it is, I'm not pushing you away. If you come and tell me that you have something you need to talk to me about, it's not stupid. Let's talk about it. Because you never know what could have happened at school.
Yeah. And I want to know. My daughter, when she would call me and she's like, girl, let me tell you, I got tea for you today. Let me tell you what happened at school. We video chatted from sun up to sundown when she was with me. And I think that got under some people's skin, but
okay.
and push her away from her mom.
Right.
But I built that bond with her from the womb.
And nobody couldn't take that away. And that's real. You can try and do whatever you want to deflect her or make her not want to call or be close as she was to her mother, but you can't take that away. Nobody can ever touch that. You can love her, but you can never give her the mother's love. Did you ever go through a period where you blamed yourself?
I still do.
Why do you do that?
Because I feel like I didn't move quick enough. I didn't wake up quick enough that Friday. I was supposed to go and pick the kids up that day because it was my brother's birthday and we were gonna celebrate it all together. I woke up that morning and I was laying in my bed and I was thinking like, man, I gotta get ready to go grocery shopping because I'm about to get these kids. It's about to be wild and crazy. And then I get a phone call saying that her brother found her in the closet and that it wasn't looking good. And I feel like the night before, she called me the night before and I was half asleep and I woke up and I saw that it was her calling me. I said, I'm gonna call her back.
Okay.
And I did it.
Okay. But let me say this. I can't, of course I can take away what you feel because I'm not the one going through it. And so, you know, people can say what they want to say, but you internalize things because you're human. You're going to internalize them the way you internalize them. But you know that was not your fault. I mean, whether you called her that night, it could have possibly stopped her. But if she really wanted to try that, there would have been another time that she would have been alone, you know, and we do know that you can't, I'm asking you, try not to live like that.
I'm trying not.
Yeah, because you did not do that. You loved her.
I have a guilt because, like I said, I worked hard to get where I am, and it took a while, and my kids were just waiting. She was so excited when we got our apartment because she knew she was coming.
Yeah.
And they had to wait until school was out in order to do that. And I just feel like the last weekend that she was with me, she stopped at the front door as they were getting ready to leave. And she said, Mom, I don't want to go. I want to stay with you. Okay. And I said, baby, you got school tomorrow. That's the only reason you got to go. I said, get through the week and you'll be back Friday.
Right.
And she said, okay. And she hugged me so tight, but you could tell she was sad. And I still remember seeing my baby walk out the door. Yeah. And I wish I would have just said you could stay.
I know.
Because I feel like she was her saddest when she wasn't with me, and that's honest to God.
I believe that.
Even her school, at her funeral, they were saying, your daughter expressed her dislike for a lot of people. Yeah. They said, but that little girl, she loves you. All she talked about was her mama and her baby sister and her brothers. There's nothing in this world that little girl wouldn't have done for you. And it made me feel okay, but it also hurt me even more because I feel like I failed my baby. I didn't move fast enough. I wanted to keep everything cordial between her dad and I. And so the agreement that we made was that they would come stay with me when school's out. Right. I could have easily said, no, she's coming with me, but that would have caused a whole lot of issues. That I felt like we got to this point, we're good, let's just keep it like this. Mm-hmm. And eventually, in May, y'all will be home. That's what I was thinking. Right. And I feel like I had just listened to my baby's feelings a little bit deeper when she said, Mom, I just want to stay. I don't want to go. If I would have just said stay, I feel like my baby would have still been here. I understand. But I tried to blame myself because I also, like I said, I was a kid that battled depression. And I know that no matter where I went, when
It
I had
still
those
will.
thoughts, I had those
Yes.
thoughts.
And you're right. And that's what you, even though I know it's not going to help me saying it, you know, you have to really internalize that and know it. But you know it, but it's like you fighting yourself with that, because that's what I was trying to say. Like, even if you would have let her stay, you know, whatever she was fighting with internally was there. You could have helped it for that moment. Of course, you know, with help, it could have been helped, you know, but nevertheless, at the end of the day, it was whoever bullied her's fault.
Yeah.
Point blank. And I pray and I hope that you eventually stop blaming yourself one day for what you could have done. Yeah, that's going to be a battle too. I'm pretty sure, even though I never experienced it, but I can only imagine in hindsight thinking, oh, if I did this or I could have did that different. We all would do that. But you shouldn't put that on yourself any more than what you're already hurting. That's just adding to what you're already going through.
That's true. And I keep trying to tell myself that it wasn't my fault and that my baby loves me.
Yes.
I hate talking past tense because no parent should have to.
Yeah, yeah.
So I try to talk about it like she's still here because I want her to be. And it just helps me feel better.
But that's a coping method for you. Yeah, if that's a coping method. I mean, because clearly, you know, people can say what they want, but we know the fact that, you know, her physical is gone, but you're keeping her alive. And if that's something that's helping you cope with it better, then who in the hell should tell you how or what to do? You know, because we're not the ones going through it.
They're gonna, her birthday's on the 16th. She would have been 12. And so
this month?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
And so the balloon release over Zoom, and a majority of my TikTok followers are going to release balloons from wherever they are via Zoom.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes. Yes.
And, at first, I was just like, I don't know if I can do that, because how do you celebrate her without her not being here? Like,
well, we're bringing awareness. We're going to do it and bring awareness that she should have been here. That's what we're going to do it for, because whoever bullied her needs to know that she was loved, and you all are the cause. You were the cause of her doing this. They need to know.
Because if you're not being reprimanded and disciplined when you do things like that, you're gonna continue to do it.
Yes.
It's just like, if you can go to a store and steal a piece of candy and get away with it, you're gonna keep doing it.
Absolutely. So they do need to be held accountable. And like you said, the parents need to be held accountable too. And I believe even more, you know,
how unalive themselves because of that.
Yes. Yes.
Baby, I can't kiss my baby. I can't talk to my baby. Mother's Day was the worst Mother's Day I've ever experienced in my life. The 4th of July made 5 months that my baby had been gone. But this kid gets to go home to their mom and dad. Dad still gets to hug them and see them every day. It's not fair, I feel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm right. I agree with you. It's not. It's just point blank, not fair.
Yeah, and it's just like, you know, at the end of the day, I don't want to sound insensitive to how maybe that child had been feeling, because maybe that kid is being bullied too, and they don't know how to channel their hurt other than throwing it at somebody else. And I would tell Kileiya and all my other kids, hurt people hurt people.
They do, and that's so true. It is so true.
Because somebody's being mean to you, sometimes they just don't know how to channel it. So it's okay to be kind to them, even if they're being mean to you. And that's Kileiya.
And I commend her. I try to be that way, period, you know, and I try to tell everybody else to be that way, because it's just like in a superhero movie or any other movie, if we can relate it to that, because that's what people can relate to. No matter what, no matter how things may seem, no matter how it goes, in the end, whether it's a part 2 or part 3, in the end, the good always prevails. And so that's why it's important for you, me, and us as parents to constantly talking to our kids and instilling the right things in them, because they are the next generation. And if the bullying keeps going on, then what the hell are we get? What's going to happen?
Oh my God.
So
we're gonna have more of this.
Yes.
And sit on nobody. This is a pain that I literally have to live with for the rest of my life. I have to wake up on this earth knowing that the one person that honestly kept me going is no longer here. Like I told my mom, and I know as a mother, it would have been hard to hear, but I had to be honest with her. If I did not have these other kids, Friday, February 4th, 2022 would have been my last day here. Because what other reason would I have had to be here? It took me a minute to realize that, Angel, you have these other kids. Snap out of it. Because that little girl was, first of all, she was my only daughter for 10 years. Daughter. So it was always her and me against her dad and her brother.
Right.
And her baby sister came. Oh my gosh, she was so, that was the happiest I had seen Kileiya in a long time. She waited for that little girl. It was just like, I felt like everything was falling into place.
Yeah.
We finally getting into our house together and they could come back home. I had her baby sister. Like, it was just, and then boom. You wake up one day to, the first thing I heard was he found her and it doesn't look good. And I'm like, who found who? Who was missing? What are you talking about?
Right.
Cameron found Kileiya in her closet. She's cold. And I screamed so loud, my neighbor came to my house because she thought something was going on in my house. And I had to tell her, like, he just told me that they found my baby in her closet. Like, you know, the most helpless feeling was I didn't have a car. So I couldn't leave. I had to tell her what was going on and wait for her to get to me.
So that was probably the longest, whatever hour or whatever, like you said, in the world, I can imagine.
It was.
Oh, God.
On the way there, even though I knew when they told me she was cold that she probably wasn't here anymore, I prayed so hard. Like, let it just be cool in the house. It was outside, there was snow on the ground. So let it just be that it's cold. Please don't let my baby be gone, because what am I gonna do without her? I love all of my kids the same. I don't love either one of them more than I love the other. But that little girl kept me sane. She was truly my best friend. She was truly one of the best people to have in your life. And I'm devastated every single day without my baby. There are days where I can't sleep for 2 and 3 days because I can't get her off my mind. I still haven't had a dream yet, and I want to so bad.
Yeah, she's gonna come to you when you're ready. I think when you're ready, she may know now, you know, she's gonna let you know at some point that she's okay. But I think right now she's not gonna show herself because she know that you're not in a good space right now to really show herself.
Once I have that dream, I'm gonna keep wanting and keep wanting. And I believe that because
you found your reason for continuing to live.
Yeah, she wants to go upstairs. She literally reminds me so much of Kileiya, and she loved Kileiya. And I was thinking to myself, she's not gonna remember her, you know, so young. When we pass by pictures of Kileiya that I have hanging on my wall, Miela literally, she goes, hi, and she reaches for her and like will start crying like she wants her to pick her up. And I had my screensaver on my phone was Kileiya's picture, and she would light my phone up and she'll go, hi, and she'll kiss my phone screen. Other day, we came out of the bathroom and Kileiya's bedroom door is directly across from the bathroom. And Miela said, Angel, she was calling my name. Angel. And she's reaching for Kileiya's door. So I walked up to the door and I said, well, she's not in there. and my baby's literally grabbing the knob, trying to turn the knob and pushing on the door. So I started recording it because I'm like, you guys, like,
Yeah, I believe in that.
And so I started recording her, and she stopped, and she started doing this, and
Right.
and she started back again. She's like, Angel, and she's pushing on the door, and I'm like, oh my God, like she definitely remembers her sister.
Oh yeah, and her sister may appear to her because she can appear to her.
I talked to her and I let her know, like, I wonder if she thinks I'm mad at her. I'm not mad. I'm hurt because I wanted my love to be enough. And I may be hurt just for my own selfish reasons because you were my baby. But I'm not mad at you because I understand. And I want you to know that I understand. But I need to know that you're okay. I need you to tell me that you're okay. Because people will say she's in a better place.
Oh God. I get so tired of hearing that sometimes. I get
her than with her mom. No child. Yes, heaven is a beautiful place.
Okay, yes.
No heaven. No child know what heaven is like.
Yes.
And so I don't want to hear that. Don't tell me that.
No, nobody. That will piss me off.
Yes, and it does. It makes me so. I know that it comes from a good place.
It does, but please just keep it to yourself.
Yeah, because no, that's baby. Don't say that to me.
Yeah, because I mean, when a person dies, especially you got a child. She was a baby. She died. I want her here. Yeah. I don't want to hear she's in a better place. Not right now. That's not people. That's just been something that people been saying, forever. And I wish they stop. I really wish they stop because nobody wants to hear that.
Seeing my baby laying dead on her floor and then seeing her again in a casket. Yeah. I honestly wouldn't have gone to her funeral if she wasn't my kid because I don't do.
Okay.
I stood in the casket the entire funeral, rubbing the inside of her arm because it's the only part of her that was soft.
Yeah.
And kissing her face. And now I have PTSD because even more so, it triggers my PTSD. I got some hair. This is her obituary. This is my angel shelf. I don't know if you can see it. Oh,
yeah, I can.
But this is
I'm glad you showed everybody.
Yeah, this is my sister who passed away in 2020. That's my grandma. My uncle back there. This, of course, is Kileiya.
Hey.
And so, yeah, this is my angel shelf. But I got some hair cut from her head before they cremated her. Mm. And I will show you her urn, but it's at my mom's house because when she passed, I didn't like being at home. Okay. And I started working so that I wouldn't sit at home and cry all the time. Yeah. And I was like, my baby's stuck in my house by herself. There's always somebody at my mom's house. So I asked my mom to keep her ashes for me. I got some hair. I found some hair in Kileiya's room from her combing her hair. And I put it inside of my prayer drawer. But the hair was cut from her head by the funeral home.
That's what's up, man. Hey.
I smelled it. It literally triggered my PTSD because it smelled like embalming fluid. It didn't smell like my baby.
Okay.
But it didn't smell like her.
Right.
I instantly had the vision of her in that casket.
Okay.
And it just.
Yeah.
It's the same.
So what is it that is your driving force now? Like, what keeps you going? I know you got the other babies to live for. I know, and I heard you say if they weren't here, but is that's your reason?
And wanting to be her voice because she's not here anymore.
Good.
She would want me to bring awareness to bullying.
Good.
I would want me to keep going. The fact that I know that she loves her siblings and she would want me to be okay for them is what keeps me going. Because honestly, there's so many days where I just want to give up. No. There's so many days where I've thought about ending it myself. But then I think about how selfish that would be to my other kids.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then I'm scared to do that also because I may not go where my baby's at.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to run that risk. So I find myself waiting. I honestly wake up like, is today going to be my day?
Okay. Okay.
Is it tomorrow? I kind of wouldn't mind if it hurried up, but
I need you to try and pull yourself out of that at some point. We gonna have to pull you out of that because we got a lot of awareness to spread. We got a lot of leaving her name behind, and nobody can't leave her name behind like you.
yeah,
No, I mean, not leave it behind. I'm sorry. We got a lot of keeping her name alive is what I meant to say. And we can't keep her name alive the way you can. And in order to do that, we need you here,
yeah,
you know, and speaking about it just like you're doing. Because I know it hurts. I know it hurts. I can only imagine how much. But what you're doing is what's needed, you know, by awareness.
5 days before Kileiya passed, a friend of mine lost her 14-month-old baby. She was on a heart transplant list and she was waiting for a heart, and it didn't come fast enough. And I had told Kileiya, I said, Kileiya, do you remember Milani? And she's like, yeah, the little baby. And I said, yeah. I said, she lost her battle today. And Kileiya was like, oh, Mom. She was like, that sucks. She was so beautiful, you know. And then 5 days later, like I would tell her, I told my friend, I was like, I can't imagine what you're going through. And I don't want to. I said, but, and I know there's no words that I could even give you to that, because I know how I would feel if I were in your shoes. And just to 5 days later, feel exactly what she felt.
That is crazy.
My mind, it literally, I have this like this, you know, that lump in your chest you get. It's always there. Sometimes I can't go in her room, and then sometimes that's where I go to cry. I lock her door. I keep her door locked because I don't want to spaz out on somebody for going into her room. I don't want you guys to touch her things. It is left the exact way that she left it, because the weekend that they were last here, I usually clean their rooms every Sunday when they go back to their dad's house.
Mm-hmm.
This Sunday that they left, I was like, nope, y'all cleaning this when y'all come back on Friday. I'm not your baby.
Right.
And it's exactly the way that she left it. It's really hard to go in there sometimes. And then sometimes I feel like that's the only way I could be really close to her. It's a battle every single day. I already suffered from depression and anxiety and PTSD. And now I feel like it's 10 million times stronger.
So what about a support? Like, first of all, as far as the PTSD and the depression, did you go, talk to your doctor about that so that you could possibly get on medication if you would take it?
I'm on medications.
Good.
I take 9 pills a night, 11 pills a day.
Oh my God.
I don't like taking it because it makes me feel like a zombie. And it only takes the pain away for a moment.
Yeah, of course, because the pain is real. Like, it can't take away my heart pain.
Exactly. And so I have gotten to the point where my coping and my remedies for getting through what I'm feeling is recording it for the world to see it, and expressing myself, not caring how anybody's gonna feel about it. And it's helping me. I've gotten so much positive feedback. So many mothers have reached out to me telling me how they feel that I am inspiring them, and I don't see how, because honey, I feel as weak as they come. But
I'm not supposed to know that by you just being you're helping somebody else. And I mean, I noticed you. You know, that's how I noticed you, because I'm like, did she just say that she lost her daughter? And I am so against bullying.
Yeah, and we did a lot of my earlier videos. Kileiya's in a lot of my earlier videos on TikTok. And so if you go on, that's another reason that made me go on TikTok, because I had disappeared from TikTok for a little bit after she passed.
Right.
And I wanted to know why. So I came back and I told them, like, for you guys who have been on here and been following me, y'all know my daughter Kileiya.
Right.
She's in my videos. Well, she is no longer here. And so it's been hard for me. Some people were instantly like, oh my God, how she died. Not, are you okay?
Right.
I could say or do that could help. It was instantly,
Right.
you know, I'm just like, some people are so rude.
Oh,
and
yeah.
disrespectful. And so those, I try not to even acknowledge them sometimes because it's like, I'm going to say some stuff to you that you don't want to hear. So just be, and I'm going to.
I've heard you. I've heard you before. Oh, I look at you. I forgot what somebody said to you. Oh, why are you on here?
Yeah.
Something like that. And I'm like, why are you on her damn page saying that? Like, leave her page. Yeah. Like, clearly you haven't, and you can exit.
Yes, and I'm like, I don't even know you. Like, you have the option to keep scrolling.
Right, clearly you can keep scrolling.
She wanted to know detail for detail, and I'm like, that's not your business. And when I'm ready, if I want to tell you guys, then I will. But it's even hard sometimes to say her name without crying. Yeah. So to sit and talk about the circumstances,
the details.
I can't do that, especially with a bunch of strangers.
Right.
People are already prejudging me because they don't know the situation. Like, it's
people
hard.
People will quickly do that without even knowing all of the details or ins and outs. You just look at the surface, the outside of it, and then put whatever you want in the inside, not even knowing what's really going on.
She's been the only person to say anything remotely close to negative about the situation. So for that one person that has something negative to say, I had a few thousand more people to say, Mommy, you got this.
Exactly.
And that's the thing that keeps me going. You guys, like, without y'all, you and the rest of the people on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, without y'all, like, TikTok sees more of me than any other platform. They really do.
Right.
And I think that's because that's something that me and my daughter shared together. So, like, honestly, I feel like without being able to talk to you guys, I probably would be crazy somewhere.
Right.
Because trying to be strong for myself and for other kids is the hardest thing ever. And to be around people and feel all this emotion, and I'm scared to let it out because I don't want to damper somebody else's mood. But I'll smell a certain scent and it makes me cry. I'll hear a song. There's a song called Rise Up by Andra Day. I love that song.
I'm going to look at it, listen to it.
When I sung it to her, and so she asked me to teach her how to sing it. And so I taught her how to sing it, and it was crazy because after she passed, her dad found a recording of her singing it on his phone.
Wow.
And he sent it to me. And we played it at the end of her funeral. When everybody was walking out, that's the last thing you hear.
Wow.
And my sister got that song, my daughter singing that, put in a Build-A-Bear. So when I want to hear her voice.
That's really cool though, man. Yeah.
It's cool, but it's heartbreaking.
To hear it.
Yeah, it's like.
Well, that's like a catch-22. It's like, it's I have her voice here, but then when I hear it, it hurts me even more because she's not hearing the physical.
Yeah.
Along with the voice.
Her favorite body wash was this strawberry soda from Bath and Body Works. That is inside the chest of the rabbit.
Oh my God. Okay.
It triggers me sometimes, but sometimes it comforts me.
Yeah.
To the best of its ability, I guess, because I will never be the person that I was January 1st till February 4th.
Right.
I'm a different person. And no matter how I try to get back to normal, everybody else's life went back to normal after February 12th.
Yep.
That was the day of her funeral. My life, it feels like it's at a standstill, and I'm just learning to coexist in this world that I feel wasn't good enough for my kid. She loved butterflies, and if you know about certain butterflies, they have a short lifespan. I feel like she's my butterfly. She didn't make it past 11, but she had a huge impact on every person that she came across. The city planted a tree for her.
That's what's up.
The city helped us to pay for her funeral, and so did the school.
Oh, good.
So
Good.
that, as grateful as I am to the city of Columbia, Missouri, I don't want that. I want my kid.
I get you.
Y'all could have done something when it was brought to you. But at the same time, nothing's gonna bring her back now.
No.
So now my job is to raise awareness, bring awareness to bullying, not only of kids, but of adults too, because adults suffer from being bullied.
Oh, they do. Oh, I see a lot of it. Yes,
Yeah.
online specifically, you know, a lot of bullying, and it has to stop.
It has to, because if it doesn't, there's going to be more parents like me. There's going to be more siblings like my kids.
Yep.
There's going to be more dads like my kid's father. There are going to be more. Her friend tried to commit suicide after her funeral.
You see, it has a trickle down effect, y'all. We got to look at all of, like you said earlier, look at all of the other lives that are touched behind stuff like this. Now, she had a young friend that wanted to take her own life.
She was admitted into a hospital because of suicide 3 times. This baby wanted to go be with her best friend. She gave Kileiya a best friend necklace in her casket that before we cremated her, I took it. And when we got her urn with her ashes in it, I wrapped it around her urn. So she still wears it.
Oh.
I bought her a bracelet from Florida when I went for Mother's Day. I bought her a bracelet that I just knew it was the only bracelet like it. Mm-hmm. It was a beautiful bracelet. When I tell you, as soon as I saw it, Kileiya flashed in my head. And I said, this is a sign. So I bought this bracelet, and it's also around the top part of her urn. People don't understand that the effects of bullying, I knew bullying, and yeah, it made me feel like I was suicidal when I was a kid, mm-hmm. But I would say I wasn't brave enough to do what my baby did, you know?
Yeah.
She was definitely, this world didn't deserve her. It did. And that's what I keep trying to play in my head. She was too good to be here. Yeah. This kid right here, out of all of my kids, he took it the hardest. Aside from their older brother, he took it the hardest because he was born right after, 3 years younger than Kileiya. Okay. He was the one that she yelled at all the time.
Of course, right.
His birthday in April.
Your big sister.
I said, "Sir, did you get everything you wanted for your birthday?" And he said, "No." And I said, "Well, what did you get? You got so much stuff. You had this cool party." And he said, "My sister." That broke my heart.
Yes, I know, and it would have broke mine too, of course, because can't nothing in the world compare to her. Yeah, and I understand, my man.
Yell at me again. I just want her to say, "Katie, get out of my room again."
I know, it's like when that's gone, you miss that stuff. Those are the memories that you hold on to. You know, you hold on to all of that stuff because she stays in your heart, no matter what. Yeah. And we going. I'm gonna wrap it up. Listen, we're gonna keep Kileiya alive. Yes. By remembering her name, and I'm gonna use my platform to help with bullying, and I'm gonna use her name a lot. I got one question for you before I let you go.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's, will you promise to always spread peace and love in this world? Thank you so much. Thank you so much.